How you doing? How you been? What's going on? What's good? How you getting it in? Body getting it funny. What's going on, people? Woo! What's going on, people? It is a day of another day. Of another day that we call Friday. Anybody been said, what's going on, people? I want to talk to you about something in reference to, you know, I don't know if you about this, but this story at hand. Now, the story I'm talking about is about a transgender woman. Her name is Linda Patricia Thompson, and she's 59 years old. Here's the picture right here. Now, I don't know if you know about this story, but this is a transgender woman, and she was arrested for robbing a bank. Now, she had just got released from prison. Now, she was in, she had just got released from Coffee Creek Correctional Facility in Wilsonville, Oregon. Okay, now she was charged on second-degree robbery in Union County. And what happened was she was released from prison and stuff, you know, to go out into the world, you know, to start her life, because she did her time as far as being in prison for the robbery that, you know, that was committed at hand. But what happened was, once she got out and everything, you know, she tried to go to a homeless shelter, you know, somewhere she could go to, you know, I guess to begin her life all over again, because, you know, everything has to start all over from the beginning as far as her being locked up. You know, it's been like over a decade and stuff. So when she got out there and stuff, the homeless shelter and stuff didn't accept her. She couldn't find an apartment, a place to live, you know, inside the homeless shelter. And then she ended up going to Martin Luther King Park. Where she was beaten. Okay, now on July the 27th, which was last month, she robbed the bank again. She walked into the bank, she handed them a letter, and they gave her the money. I think it was $60,000 and some odd dollars. And she sat outside the bank of the building after she robbed it, sat out there on the curb. Before she sat down, she tried to give the money away to people, you know, that was walking by and stuff, because she didn't want the money. Her whole goal was to go back in prison because she felt as though she couldn't survive outside the realistic world, you know, as far as the world we live in and stuff. And I guess because of a lot of trials and tribulations that we go through in life, and she just got beaten up pretty bad. And she still told the probation officer, you know, don't release me. Because she was already inside of a women prison and stuff, and she got her sex change as far as that. And, you know, the thing about it is that she felt as though she had a load lift off of her after she had the sex change and stuff. Anyway, the band said, let me let you hear from the news report.
Taking a look now at a recent Cheyenne bank robbery with an interesting twist. 59-year-old Linda Patricia Thompson, also known as Brian Thompson, will be in court tomorrow for allegedly robbing a U.S. bank here in the capital city. She'd just been released a month before after serving time at Coffee Creek Correctional Facility, that's in Wilsonville, Oregon, for second-degree robbery. News Channel 5's Mariah Ellis spoke with police and FBI this morning. She joins us now with what she's learned. Mariah.
Yes, Anthony, I'm standing in front of the U.S. Bank here on Perry Avenue, which Linda Patricia Thompson allegedly robbed last Wednesday in an attempt to get off the streets and back into prison. She was released from Coffee Creek Correctional Facility, a minimum and medium security female prison in northern Oregon. In June, hopped a train to Cheyenne. Upon her arrest, Thompson told investigators that she knew she wouldn't do well on parole and asked Oregon parole officials not to release her from prison. However, they released her and she made her way to Cheyenne, where police say she had run-ins with the law before. Once here, she says a group of strangers beat her at MLK Park. That, combined with her inability to get a room at a homeless shelter, forced her, she says, to rob the bank in an effort to get off the streets. So last Wednesday, Thompson allegedly walked into the bank, handed a teller a note saying she had a gun, then walked outside with more than $16,000, threw it into the air, and waited for police.
Cheyenne Police Department was the first to respond. It's believed that she wanted to go back to prison, so she was just trying to commit a crime to get us to come arrest her.
Now, we did try to reach out to the FBI this morning to get more details on this case, but since it has proceeded to the court phase, they were no longer to give us any comment.
You know, it's so sad. You know, like I said before, a lot of girls like us, we go through so much, and Linda clearly is a pattern of what we go through as far as, you know, living in our truth. Now, the thing about it is that, you know, they put the male name and stuff like that. They want to let you know, allegedly, you know, that she robbed the bank and stuff. You know, and I don't know if you're about this, but I had saw the stories about her before. I looked at her, and I saw the story, you know, circulating online, but they didn't put transgender. They just put, you know, Linda, so I figured it was a female. You know, and it is a female as of now, but you know what I'm saying. You know, and the thing about it was that she was inside of a documentary which was called Cruel and Unusual. And it was a film about transgender inmates and stuff. Okay. You know, I'm going to put a link below in case you want to check out this thing, you know, the documentary reference to, you know, the transgender side of prison and stuff. It was something, you know, you could look into. You could kind of understand what she's going through. They take you inside the prison as far as documentary, and they're showing, you know, the different things that's inside of there, you know, where they slap, what it looks like, you know, the whole thing. You know, and it's horrible. And this is in some Oregon, you know. She couldn't get a room at the homeless shelter. So she robbed the bank again, and, you know, they said she can face up to 20 years as far as, you know, once she goes to court and stuff. But she's 59 years old. She's over it. I know the signs, and you know the signs. We know the signs when somebody's over. She's over it. She, at this point in her life, she don't even care. She's over it. You know, and like the man said in the news reporter said that the system failed her, you know, and the thing about it, she went out there and she tried to start her life over, just to get beat up all over again, just get out of prison and then get beat up all over again. Anyway, the man said, I just wanted to share that with you. And Patricia, if you can hear me, my sister, just stay strong and stuff. Patricia's her middle name, is Linda Thompson, you know, but, you know, just stay strong, sis, you know, and my heart goes out to you, and for the girls who's in the struggle like me, you know, my heart goes out to you as well, because you're a product of me, and we walk through many different avenues in life, and we try to survive the best way we can and stuff, and, you know, I'm sure she's just broken. She's just broken, and, you know, it's just sad. It's just realism of the world we live in and stuff. You know, and then to rob a bank and stuff and just hand the money, that's when you know somebody's giving up. When they rob a bank and they walk outside the bank, they sit on the ground and wait for the cops to hand them money. You want some money? Because I'm over it. I don't even care no more. Here, you want some money? You know, and I can see that, you know, and the girls like me or anybody who's in the struggle as far as giving up on life and, you know, just, you've seen too much, your eyes are sore from the disappointment you have seen in life. But, you know, my thing is just don't give up. Just always fight back as much as you can, you know. Anyway, the band said, I want to say thank you for watching. I want to say hello my dogs. Meow. I want to say hello my geese. Woo. I want to say hello new people. Boom. I want to say oh people bam. And I want to thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. I want you to do you. I want you the best way that you can. And if nobody likes it, then fuck them.